Senator, in your remarks, you talked about the economic changes we're undergoing, and the question is whether we're going to be on the front end or the back end of them. Yesterday, Ford announced that they were losing another $5 billion, and Chrysler and GM are even worse. As an automotive state, this is obviously a huge question for us. If and when one of the major or all of the major Detroit automakers go under. My question becomes, is there any contingency planning going on at the state or county or local levels of what we're going to do, and not only the primary impacts of joblessness, but also the secondary and tertiary impacts of schools and jails and everything else that this is going to do to our community? Are we doing anything to prepare for this potential tsunami?
You know, frankly, that's what this conversation's about today, in part, because doing something's really going to mean, look, if the economy's not there and the taxes are not there and people are strapped and can't afford more in terms of the cost of living and paying higher taxes and fees and so forth, we have to figure out how, if we're going to maintain the level of services that we have, how are we going to be able to do that? Well, the only way you can do it is to work a little smarter and a little more efficiently, and that's what this conversation's about today. This is a component of that solution. As resources dwindle, how do we maintain the services that we've come to expect with the resources available? That's why this conversation is so important, both at the local and state level. And in terms of the economy, I can tell you that I live in the district that I represented, both in the House and in the Senate, is home, or was home until December the 23rd of 2008, of an assembly plant for the Chevy Trailblazer. And I know growing up in the Dayton area, that was the one thing that no matter what happened to Delphi and whatever happened to other things, that plant was there and it wasn't going to close, and it's closed. When I started at the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce in the early 90s, mid-90s, we had 25,000 jobs that were directly related to General Motors and it ended up being Delphi today. Now there are fewer than 5,000. We don't have much. We were the home, where I live, Kettering, is the home of Charles Kettering, who invented the electric engine starter and the electric starter, and helped create Delco and part suppliers for GM, and that was the fabric of the four pillars of our economy in the Dayton area, and it's almost non-existent today. And it's about taking new technologies and because look, our state was built on entrepreneurs. It was built on entrepreneurs and innovators. And that's what our future is going to be built around. I began a conversation here recently with the Federal Reserve Bank here in Cleveland on a study that had been done that said the two most important factors that in their review, the two most important factors to economic vitality were the educational attainment of the citizens and the number of patents. It's innovation and intelligence, and that's what our economic future in the state's going to be built around. And that's what we have to embrace and knock down the barriers that stand in the way of those successes.
I'm going to bring you back to Cuyahoga County again. Thank you for speaking today. I'm a lifelong resident of Cleveland, and actually I think fourth or fifth generation. And I haven't had any conversations with my ancestors on the political structure of Cleveland, but in my lifetime, I've observed pretty much the same thing. And I just want to ask again, why do you seriously think the office holders who put us in this situation now, who have made decisions that helped them out, but neglected the residents of the city and the infrastructure and everything else, why do you think they're going to have a change of character and do something to benefit us?
Well, that's a tough question. Look, I don't, as somebody who is from Dayton, I don't like to come into other communities and tell them how they need to operate themselves. But I do want to be their partner in trying to help them figure out how they can improve themselves, because we're all in this together as Ohioans. If Cuyahoga County and Cleveland are not strong, this state will not be an economically strong state. If the Dayton area is not strong, that's a drag on other parts of the state. We're all in this together, so that's why I care. And that's the reason that I continue to try to talk about these things in the legislature, and why I will try to knock, a lot of times, I don't know what the formula for success is, but I do know what the formula for failure is. And so I try to eliminate all the excuses. Okay, if the code's a problem, let's take that out of the way. If whatever it is, you tell me why you can't do it, and let's start eliminating excuses together. And I hope that as an elected official, that every once in a while, I see people rise to the occasion. And a lot of times it's when the chips are down. And I'm hopeful that the elected officials in this county and in other places, and I'd like to think of myself as someone who tries to act in this way, that I look around and I see the circumstances and I say, you know what? There may be political consequences. These associations may want to hang me and put me up on their dartboard because I'm talking about these changes. But you know what? I hope that when I do it, other people will see that they can do it too, and they can live to see another day, and that the public will embrace those people who will do those things, and that the commissioners here and that the local elected officials will see that this is no longer a political liability for them, but the public's going to demand that they do these things if they want to have a political future. And I hope that we change the culture of the conversation so that those things happen. And I have to be hopeful. And I have to believe that that's the case. And I refuse to believe that it's not at this point. Thank you.
Today at the City Club of Cleveland, we have been listening to the Honorable Jon Husted, Senator from Ohio. Thank you very much, Senator Husted. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This forum is now adjourned.
For information on upcoming speakers or for podcasts of the City Club, go to cityclub.org.